right, looks like we are live. Give me 1 second. Let me just double check the audio to make sure it's working. All right, looks like we are in business. Cool. Happy Friday, everybody. Today we're looking at a subject to deal. Before we get started, while some people are still tuning in, don't forget to check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ICan't_HE. My mentor and I, Alvin Hope Johnson, we just did a recording and we decided to share and shed and pull back the curtains on how developers really make money in real estate. That's going to be a really, really interesting one for you guys to listen to, and you guys will be able to hear, one, how developers make money, why we decided our buy box is what it is. And this is going to be a great episode. So make sure you check that out. So today's deal is in Tallahassee, 2811 Boatner Street, Tallahassee, 32310. Let's see what the deal details are. 900 square feet, built in 1962, 3-bed, 1-bath. It's only 900 square feet, so I don't think there's going to be much room to add extra bedrooms, so I'm not going to get creative there. Close of escrow January 15th. $42,244 is the entry fee. The subto loan, which you're taking over to payments of not assuming the loan, you're taking over subject to existing financing, 3.625%. The PITI is $557.69. They're saying the Section 8 FMR for 2024 is $1,708 a month. Interesting. Let's see if I see the same number. Outstanding mortgage left is $78,007, $12,744 in arrears, which means that likely the seller has fallen behind a little bit in terms of the payments. So the total purchase price here is $120,000. They're estimating the rehab is $20,000. All right, significant rental income over $90 cash flow. All right, let's test that out. And how do they get $900 cash flow? They're assuming 1,700 minus 600. I don't know. Let's see. No banks required. Meet the 1% rule. Excellent investment benchmark. Rental properties. Low interest rate. Strong demand. All right. Let's see. So let's pull up this property. This is in 2811. Whenever I am in Florida, I quickly double check to make sure that it's not in the flood zone. Let's see if that'll load up. While that's loading, let me see if I can do a quick street drive-by. What do we have here? How does this neighborhood look? Let me drive behind the area. Is that a park? What is this? Visitor parking? Where am I? What's going on here? These houses are okay. What are these? Is this a school? Okay, there's an elementary school right there. Good to know. That might be good for our family if they have kids here that wants to go to school literally 1 block behind the home. Okay, I like that area. How about flood zone? Is it in a flood zone? Great. It's not in a flood zone, so that makes me feel a little bit better. Am I near a lot of flood zones? No, that's pretty good. I've never been to Tallahassee myself, so at least I'm much further inland. Okay, good. Some fire risk, but not much. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. You never know what the fire risk is actually going to add to insurance costs. So there's something I just take a quick look at. Wind is an additional insurance premium you got to pay attention to. Let's see what the school ratings are for this property. Elementary school is a 4 out of 10, so that's not bad. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get the HUD FMR next. So when Google HUD FMR, for those of you joining on Instagram, you can definitely check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Kent_HE if you want to see the full screen version. I've been going live every single day. So join in, guys. Just do this with me. Let's all get better at underwriting together. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just doing the work every single day. This is in Leon County. What zip code is this in? Zip code 32310. 32310. A 3-bedroom is $1,450 for smaller FMR. So I'm not sure where that person got the 1708 from. Maybe that was from including utilities, but I'm seeing 1450. So this is right from the HUD website. 32310, a 3-bedroom. This is where you get the maximum rent by bedroom count by zip code. So I got 1450. So I'm just going to start an Excel file and start noting that down while I'm here. A couple other things I want to do. I want to go to get my market rents. So in order for me to get my market rents, I'm going to affordablehousing.com. I'm going to the owner section and go to the market rent estimator. When I plug in the address and I plug in the bedroom count, now I'm looking at this number on the far right. You see how it says within a 0.98 mile radius for 24 units, the average rent here is $1,431. Great. That's actually really close in alignment with the 1450 that we saw there. That's actually really, really close. So that makes me feel a little bit better about using 1450 as my rental assumption because it's literally just a $20 difference. So that makes me feel great. So I'm going to write down all these numbers right now. 1598. And this way, my partners, when they see my underwriting, just in case it is a deal, they know what the research has already shown because they're very, very familiar with my underwriting process, but doesn't hurt to still write down these numbers. Okay. And I always note the 4-bedroom rent as well, but usually that's only in scenarios where there is an opportunity to increase the bedroom count, even if there's like a sunroom or something like that for this area. But with just it at 900 square feet, I'm not really seeing that as an opportunity, but it doesn't hurt to at least write that down. Okay, cool. So let's take some of these numbers and write that in there. I'm going to be able to get, let's see, I already got the PITI. So next thing I want to do is check the crime score. Now, I use tophap.com, tophap.com. I used to use Neighborhood Scout, but this is just way easier for me to search across the nation. And whoops, let me type in this address, 2811 Boatner Street, 2811, yep, 32130. And I'm going to check the neighborhood section. In the neighborhood section, that's where I'm going to get the crime score. Ooh, that is high, 141. That is high. It does not make me feel great about it. And especially if you think about it, like what it has going for it is that it's right next to elementary school. So that makes me feel a little bit better, but it might not be necessarily a neighborhood that people like to hang around at if your crime score is that high. So that might be the reason why this property is available for sale. That might be the reason why. You never know. I'm not going to speculate, but I personally don't like this crime score. But let's keep underwriting it, right? And see what the numbers yield itself. So I'm going to share the entire screen now so you can see how I plug this into Excel on that page. Stop sharing my camera. Okay. I'll pull my Excel file over. Save this as a new file. 2811 Boatner. 2811 Boatner. Tallahassee. Cool. This is 1222. I just want to keep my naming convention correctly. All right, cool. This is asking price. So what's the asking price here? Let's kind of do this together. Purchase price is $120,251. The renovation, they're estimating, I haven't seen photos of this. They're estimating $20,000. Let's see, it's 900 square feet. Usually I got my rehab calculator where I go line by line and go through it. Let's see. Let's see what it shows up. Let's assume I need to do all paint and all flooring. So 900 square feet at $3 a square feet. Replace all the flooring at $8 a square feet. Let's assume that I need to repair the roof at $1,500. I need to keep the place clean at $500 on the outside for landscaping. Let's say I need to put in a new washer, a new dryer. Let's say I need to put in a new vanity cabinet for the bathroom, new countertop, new sink, new toilet. Okay. What if I had to reinstall the shower stall too to make it a little bit nicer? Okay. Let me put in a new. Someone's living there right now, so I'm assuming the water heater is working. I'm going to have a little bit of money for the termites. Oh, you know what? I'm going to replace the water heater anyways, just in case something's going on here. What else do I need to do for this property? Let's say I need to repaint the cabinets to kind of freshen it up. And new garbage disposal, new range hood. Okay. I feel pretty good about that. What does that equal to? I want to be at $30,000 for rehab. Let's do $30,000 for rehab because that seems a little bit more conservative because I can't see any photos right now. And this will help me at least be more informed about what the numbers are for this deal. So let me kind of put this to the side right here. All right, outstanding mortgage 78,007. Now that might not be the original loan amount, but that's okay. I can try to get that elsewhere. Well, actually here, let me show you a real easy way to check the existing loan. I'm gonna go to PropStream on my other screen right now to figure out whether or not there is an underlying loan and see if I can get the loan balance for this property. While that's loading, let me finish plugging in the numbers here on the other screen. And EMD, let's see, total arrears is 12,744. So that's how much amount of catch-up payments is another way to kind of say it. Okay, let's see. All right, so now I got PropStream pulled up. And when I pull up PropStream, I click on the details section. When you are in the details section, you click on this mortgage and transaction history, and boom, here it is. All right, here is the loan. It's a VA loan by New Day Financial LLC. Original loan amount was $79,061. $79,061. Okay, what's the interest rate? 3.56. And they're saying the interest rate here is 3.625. That's a little bit higher, so I'm going to go with that number. And this was started in 2/3/2022. Okay, so all you have to do is go to PropStream, find a property, click on the details button, and then click on the mortgage and transaction history. And you'll see whether or not there is an underlying loan for this property right here. Okay. Now, when you get this underlying loan, now you can kind of plug in and figure out what numbers I need to plug in order to make this deal pencil. Okay. So there is no extra loan. Let's talk about what the underlying details are. So this property is PITI of 557.69. So I'm going to plug in the rest of the numbers, 557.69. I'm going to subtract that by the principal. I'm going to subtract that by the interest. And this gives me 197.13 for the property taxes and the insurance that's in place. Now, this is currently owner occupied. So this is why I add an extra $30 per month in order to increase my insurance expenses, because typically your insurance expenses for a owner occupied property is going to be lower when you compare that on a relative basis to a property that's being rented out as an investment property. Hence why I'm adding extra $30 a month. Is that high? Is that low? I'm just putting an extra number because it should definitely not be the same. So I want to be a little bit more conservative there. All right. So right now I have 1450 rents, which we got from the HUD small area FMR, and we compare that to the market rent on affordablehousing.com on the market rent estimator. So that's why I got 1450 right now, which is my ceiling rent. There is no better case scenario. This is my absolute best case scenario is what I'm assuming right now. I got 10% for my war chest, which means that I'm setting aside 10% of the month, or the rent every single month, expecting that the roof, water heater, HVAC, something will eventually break for the property. I'm also setting aside 8% for property manager right now. This is the slightly higher crime area, so let me just go do 0.05. I'm gonna do 5% vacancy on this property just to be a little bit more conservative and take some of the numbers out. And who knows, maybe I got to pay 10% for property management as well, because if you're in an area where there's a little bit higher crime, it might take a little bit more effort to find a property manager to go out there. Okay, all right. So at 8, let's see, how much is the cash to seller in this deal? 42,000. So the total entry fee needs to be 42,244 plus my closing costs plus transaction costs. All right, so that already includes the arrears. So I'm assuming besides for this $12,000, everything else is either going to the seller or it's going to the wholesaler who negotiated this deal. So let's think about it. So 42,244 equals 42,244 minus the arrears and I'm gonna delete the commissions because that's already all together. And now I have a 2.5% closing cost for this deal, along with $30,000 of renovations for this property. Now, even though your entry fee is 42 grand, they didn't say whether or not that entry fee includes a rehab. I'm assuming it did not. So what does that equal to? This property is going to be an 8% cash and cash return, and it yields about $500 a month. Honestly, that's a lot better than some of the deals that we've been looking at lately. So if you are familiar with this market and you have the team in place, which is probably the most important, this might be a deal for you. However, I'm looking for at least 15% cash and cash return. And this one is $500 cash flow. That might meet some folks' criteria. Some folks might just want to make, I want to make at least $500 a month per property. But a $75,000 rehab, man, that's going to be tough. 120,251. I'm sure there must be some sort of good rehab or folks there. So let's just say, what if I overestimated my rehab and it was really only $20,000? Does that make this a deal? No, still not a deal for me because this would only equal to. So I'm going through the different scenarios right now, right? I have lowered a rehab just now to see whether or not it could make it a deal and whether or not I was overestimating the expenses. Now, the person that's pitching the deal says the rehab is $20,000. I'm going to say usually people undershoot it a little bit because they want to make the deal look more attractive. That's not a generalization. That's just me being a little bit skeptical of the deal. So it's still going to be a $5 cash flow, assuming a $1,450 rent. So this ain't bad. It's 9%, but it just doesn't meet my criteria because I can just lend my money out for 12, 15%. So for me, if I cannot get at least a 15% return on my personal capital, then it's not a deal for me because why do that when I can just lend it out for 12 to 15% without any of the execution risk? And when I talk about execution risk, I'm referring to, hey, what if a contractor runs off with your money? What if a contractor doesn't show up and do what he said he was going to do? That's what I mean by execution risk. And in order for you to make a deal worth it, you should be compensated for that risk on top of what other investment options you have. Because if you really think about it, if you have 75 grand, you could probably just go and lend it out right now on another deal and make 12 to 15%. So why settle for a deal where you not only have to manage the contractor, find a property manager, screen the tenant, only to settle for a cash and cash return less than 15%. So this is not investment advice. I'm not soliciting any investments. I'm simply doing the work and talking out loud what I'm doing every single day. Hopefully this was helpful for folks. And there's really no other scenarios out here. The other day, we're going to Detroit and we were looking at some on-market deals. And I remember just thinking out loud and thinking like, hey, we were looking through all these scenarios like, hey, what if I change the purchase price? Does that make a deal? What if I change the rent and I was underestimating to make a deal? What if I change it to seller finance to make it a deal? And this scenario has already been negotiated. It's already been agreed to by the seller. So there's really no additional negotiations and there's really no other flexibility for this deal. Unless for some reason you're able to get some sort of lower assignment. Well, what if, okay, well, maybe that could be a good deal. What if the entry fee was another $10,000 less? Well, now it's 11%. All right, well, this starts getting a little bit more interesting, right? Still doesn't meet my criteria, but if you lower your entry fee by another 10 grand, maybe you're negotiating with a wholesaler to lower their assignment fee. Now all of a sudden it might make sense. So all completely up to you on how you view the scenarios and how you want to make it a deal. But this is just part of doing the work. So thank you for watching the underwriting session today. We have been going live every single day for the past 80 days. I have nothing to sell you. I hope all of you find it useful. If you want to copy on the spreadsheet, I've been very, very fortunate and blessed to have been given the spreadsheet by other folks, and I just been able to modify it to meet my personal methods of underwriting Section 8 single family homes. I typically underwrite multifamily, but usually those deals are on NDAs, so I can't just kind of publicize them unless they're just deals that are publicly available and no one has swooped them up. So hence why they are just publicly listed. So awesome. Everybody have an amazing Friday. I'm so happy you guys are watching this. Thank you so much for caring about affordable housing. If it wasn't for folks like you, I would never had the home I grew up in. So thank you so much, everybody. And we will be back here doing this again tomorrow. And I hope you guys would simply be able to copy what I'm doing, look in the same properties, using the same spreadsheet, and then putting it on your own YouTube channel. Because when you are trying to partner up with somebody else, again, it's not a solicitation for any investments, they're going to ask you, why do you think this is a deal? Well, at that point in time, you can tell them, well, I know this is a deal because I've looked at the past 100 deals and it's all on my YouTube channel, and those are all not deals. And including this one, you're like, hey, I've seen this deal and this was only 8% and I turned it down, right? If you have your criteria and your cash on cash return kind of set in stone, it will help you tell and say no to deals a lot faster so that you never get burnt out. And I think one of the biggest reasons people get burnt out in real estate is that they do all this work for lack of better words, for no reason, because you overanalyze everything and you keep analyzing deals and you never see any return. And that's a really tough thing to swallow. But this is the unsexy side of real estate. Sometimes you have to keep putting in work. You have to analyze deals every single day and you build this habit. And I hope all of you will build this habit with me. So have an amazing Friday night, everybody. We'll be back here again tomorrow. And if I don't speak to you before Christmas, Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Have an amazing night.